Good evening, everyone, guests and community members. Good evening. We're going to get started with our meeting here on behalf of the Board of Education, all the members, the superintendent, and her cabinet. We welcome you to our open public meeting here on Tuesday, May 9th. Let the record reflect 7:43 p.m. start time. Board Secretary Ottman, roll call, please.
Mr. Carlson. Here. Ms. Dowling.
Here.
Mrs. Felak. Ms. Franco-Herman.
Present.
Ms. Harris.
Here.
Ms. Spina.
Present.
Mr. Todd.
Present.
Ms. Woodlenka-Jernigan. Dr. Spence Wallace.
Present, everyone, let's please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everyone, please be seated. Mr. Ryan Walls, our MHS student representative, is absent tonight. So now we will hear from Superintendent McLaughlin with her report and any presentations. Superintendent McLaughlin.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out. We have a very exciting agenda tonight. First, I want to talk a little bit about the kids. So on May 7th, Team Sharknadoes from LMS competed at the Special Olympics as part of the Mercer County Special Olympics in track and field events. This in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. This huge event and a big deal for our students, and is just the start of a long and arduous journey our students embark on at the local level. This year we had 9 students from Montgomery participating. The athletes practice on most Sundays leading up to the games and completing in running or walking, throwing, and jumping events. All these athletes will continue to practice on Sundays and look forward to the state games held at CCNJ. Opening ceremonies will be on June 9th, and the athletes will compete on June 10th and 11th. We are excited to share the celebration of MHS Junior, AP Chemistry student who earned a spot in the top 50 students across the nation on the United States Chemistry Olympiad exam. He has qualified for high honors group after participating in round 1 written exam and a round 2 lab exam. He is one of only 3 students from the state of New Jersey in the top 50 from across the nation. This past weekend, Montgomery High School partnered with Deputy Mayor Nina Singh and the Montgomery Township Rec Department and had an exceptionally well-attended, exciting spring fling event. There was music, dancing, food, and of course, the throwing of colors. We are so proud to put the unity back into community. After 2 weeks of AP testing, we're coming to a close. Thank goodness for the kids, right? They're all like, ooh, over. We are so proud of the poise and dedication of our students as they demonstrated their mastery of this college-level content on these culminating exams. Just a reminder, this year we had more students signed up to take exams than we've ever had. With 612 students signed up for 1,524 tests. So now the big news. So tonight we are happy to welcome 3 new administrators. You have all heard about the thorough and robust process we went through to find the best candidates for the LMS and UMS principal positions. We also have done a long and thorough search looking for our new business administrator. Tonight, candidates for all 3 positions are recommended for approval on the board agenda. It is my pleasure to introduce these candidates. First, I would like to introduce our lower middle school principal candidate, Mrs. Lisa Romano.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Take your time.
Okay. I just want to say to everybody tonight how very grateful I am. I am grateful to be a resident of this incredible community for over 27 years. I am grateful to be an educator in the Montgomery Township School District for 15 years. I am grateful to my family for being there by my side every step of the way. I cherish our team of educators at LMS, every one of our teachers, all of our administrators, and every single person on our staff, because we are a team that is committed to building relationships with every one of our students and their families to ensure that we truly champion every student. So it goes without saying that in following in Mr. Richards' leadership, I have tremendous shoes to fill. I will work tirelessly alongside our LMS team and with our Montgomery community to ensure we continue to foster all that Mr. Richards taught us to value: curiosity, passion, and the well-being of all of our students. Mike, thank you for everything. You are a mainstay of LMS. So many of the traditions you began will continue to live on at LMS. You will not be forgotten. As an LMS team, we will work together to do all that it takes for our students to achieve at high levels and for our school and our community to thrive. We will work as a community to become all that we can possibly be for one another and for our students. So I thank everyone, and I am so grateful for this opportunity of a lifetime, an opportunity to serve and to lead an outstanding team in an incredible community. Thank you.
This appointment is a personal achievement and a testament to the dedication and commitment of those who have come before me and have been a beacon of hope and strength throughout my career. I am grateful for the support from the Montgomery High School staff, faculty, supervisors, families, students, my administrative team, and the Montgomery community. A year ago today, Ms. Heather Pino-Beatty, Mr. Scott Pachuta, and John McAvady welcomed me to Montgomery High School family as vice principal. Heather has been invested in my happiness and success since the first day at MHS. She fosters an environment that has allowed me to learn, inquire, contribute, and spread my wings. And now, before all of you, I am soaring. Thanks to you and my partners in crime, Scott and John, JP. Thank you for sharing the best of yourselves with me, for your unwavering support and friendship, and for making this past year unforgettable. I look forward to working together to ensure preparedness and a seamless transition to Montgomery High School for our upper middle school students. I extend my deepest gratitude to Ms. McLaughlin and the esteemed board members for entrusting me with this incredible responsibility, and the support and confidence you have shown me. Your faith in my abilities is a testament to this board's commitment to cultivating exceptional educational leaders. Your tireless efforts in shaping the future of our district push me, inspire me to push boundaries, strive for excellence, and ensure every student feels safe and seen for their authentic selves. To my husband, Jose, and my children, Victoria and Alejandro, you are my rock and source of strength. Your unconditional love, encouragement, and belief in me have been the pillars of my success. You have been by my side throughout my journey, offering wisdom, understanding, and unconditional love. To my brother and sister, we are living proof that dreams can come true if we believe in ourselves and find our purpose. To my parents, your love, sacrifice, and dedication to our family have shaped me into who I am today. I am eternally grateful and proud to be your daughter. Thank you for instilling in me the values of humility, perseverance, integrity, passion, and love for education. They continue to be my moral compass. Mami, papi, su amor sacrificios y dedicación a nuestra familia me han convertido en la persona que soy hoy día. Estoy eternamente agradecida y orgullosa de ser su hija. Gracias por inculcarme los valores de humildad, perseverancia, integridad, pasión y amor por la educación. Siempre serán mi compás moral. I'd like to acknowledge the invaluable contributions of the former principal of Upper Middle School, Mr. Corey Delgado. His exceptional leadership, dedication, and guidance throughout his tenure have fostered an environment of social and emotional growth and academic excellence. He has set a solid foundation upon which I, alongside the UMS staff, can continue to build and excel together. I also want to thank our current UMS Vice Principal, Mr. Mark Accardi, for his friendship, professionalism, support, and collaboration. His knowledge, experience, and commitment to our students, staff, and families have been instrumental in maintaining a positive and nurturing school environment. I am genuinely grateful for his continued partnership as we embark on this new journey together. To the faculty and staff of UMS, I look forward to joining the family and celebrating our passions, expertise, and commitment to one another and our students. United, we will continue to create opportunities for student advocacy, exploration, and progress. To the students and guardians, to the parents and guardians of UMS, thank you for your devotion and continued partnership. Together we will navigate the social and emotional development and academic progress of our UMS students. Thank you for entrusting me with their care. And last but certainly not least, I want to express my appreciation to our UMS school students. You are the heartbeat of our school. Your enthusiasm, curiosity, and resilience remind us every day that what we do and say matters. Your dreams, aspirations, and accomplishments drive our unwavering commitment to provide you with the best education and a nurturing environment to succeed. With the support and unity of the superintendent, members of the board, educators, administrators, and families, Upper Middle School will continue to grow as an inclusive environment that is safe, committed to wellness, academic achievement, and success for all our students. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for this opportunity. It is a privilege.
Last but not least, and I am going to say that I told Jack to just come and say a few words, so he's probably sweating over there, like, oh no. Mr. Jack Trent is our...
So it's definitely tough to follow speeches like those, but it makes me excited to join a district that has people with such passion. So that's really cool to see. As I said, my name is Jack Trent, and I'm on the agenda for the Business Administrator and Board Secretary position today, and I'm honored to be considered to join a district such as Montgomery. I have worked in 5 other districts, but don't worry, every district has been a move up for me. And I consider Montgomery to be the top that you can get. I'm so excited to be here. I said it in my interview, I truly mean it. I also joked in my first interview that my first experience with this school district was as an opposing swim coach. And I saw the pool and I was like, wow, this is beautiful. Like, we don't have anything like this. And through the interview process and just in my own research, I can see it reflects the rest of the district as well. So I'm just so excited to be here. As was said, I just found out about this not too long ago, so I can't go into too many other things. I just want to say the administrative team and the interviewers were all wonderful. They were courteous, they were respectful. I truly appreciate everything that was done. And I am just so happy to be a part of the Montgomery team, and I'm so excited to get started whenever, hopefully July 1st. So, thank you.
And that concludes the superintendent report. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent McLaughlin. So we've reached the action agenda items only part of public comment. I will read the instructions. The Board of Education welcomes and encourages input from the public. Members of the public are allotted 1 opportunity to address the board regarding the action agenda items only for up to a maximum of 3 minutes per speaker. All comments must be directed to the board. Before you make your comment, please state your name and address and write both in the notebook provided on the podium. Being mindful of privacy rights regarding students, board employees, and board members, and to avoid any liability on the part of the speaker, the board discourages defamatory and discourteous remarks. The public comment portion of the meeting is not structured as a Q&A, but rather offered as opportunities for the public to share their thoughts with the board. The board may need to refer an issue to the superintendent if the issue did not channel through the appropriate chain of command, usually starting at the school level. Responses may be provided at the end of this session. So Board Secretary Ahmed, our action agenda items only, public comment is now open. Oh, thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Jeff Brand, Montgomery. Welcome all new administrators, principals, and everybody. Best of luck here in Montgomery. My role here is to help this town be the best it can be, the school board and everyone here, that they reach their full potential as an individual, and that they become wonderful representatives of the United States of America. Lying, deception, and ignorance. It's the root of all evil. I've seen this and continue to observe this in our town. You are the company you keep. There is no better way to define.
Excuse me, Mr. Grant.
Stop the clock,
I'm
please.
just going to interrupt you.
Stop the clock.
Stop the clock. Do you have, this is our action agenda items public comment. We have our new business public comment
No, I'm
toward in
reading
the
from the
later part of the agenda.
quick guide that you passed out. Says a public body cannot prohibit public comments based
We're
on
not
subject
prohibiting your
matter.
comments, sir. We're just asking
If the
you
comments
politely
relate
to
to
follow
any
the
issue that a
agenda
member of
that's
the
been
public
published.
feels may be of concern to the residents of the municipality school district. I have a lot to say about the concerns with the school district and this municipality. So, Madam President, I ask that you allow me to continue based upon the law.
No, Mr. Grant, can I ask you which action item would you like to speak on?
I am here to voice my opinion according to the guides and the laws of the state of New Jersey under public comment.
Mr. Grant,
So that's later.
there's a
We
portion of
have a
our
new business
agenda for
public
that.
comment section.
Oh, there is?
As part of our
Yes.
agenda.
Yes.
This is our action
So,
agenda
just the
items
action.
only public comment.
Well, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Thanks.
Thank you for your cooperation. Are there any members of the public that wish to speak germane to action agenda items only? Seeing and hearing none, our action agenda items only public comment is closed. So now we've reached the part of our agenda for the committee and representative reports, starting with our MTEA president, Mr. Jim Dolan.
Good evening, board members, both in person and virtually, and our staff who have come out, and our administrators for this wonderful evening. We have a lot to celebrate. Congratulations to all of our new leaders, Mrs. Rivera, Mrs. Romano, and Mr. Trent. Look forward to working with you. I was a part of the robust interview process. We had not only MTEA staff, we had students, we had parents, so it was quite a great structure that we had set up to get the very best candidates, and I assure you we do have the very best candidates here tonight. We actually had a great pool to choose from, so it was very difficult, but I know that we have the best candidates, and you can see that by the turnout and celebration tonight. Just want to share some good news. Over the weekend we had our Music from the Heart presentation of Cinderella, and we sold over about 1,000 tickets, which earned us approximately $10,000, which allows us to continue the process of giving scholarships to the students of Montgomery High School. This year we'll be giving out 5 $1,500 scholarships, so that money earned continues to support that year after year, which is amazing. With our show, we had 80 staff and students involved between the cast, the crew, and the students that were in the pit down below. They don't always get a lot of recognition, but we all listen and enjoy them, and they're a huge part of the show. We had 75 students from LMS and VES participate in a program contest cover, And we selected one winner from each of those buildings. That was part of our contest cover. So that was nice to try to include everyone as part of the whole evening. And one final event that's coming up with our association is the final virtual book read on May 15th, and that is titled Standing on Her Shoulders. So that is, once again, one of the opportunities where you can tune in virtually, read aloud, and then we will actually give you one of the books. We'll deliver it to the classroom for the students to have. So those are all the positive things going on in our association and sharing and working with our community, and we're really happy and pleased that our Music from the Heart performance of Cinderella went so well, especially on a very sunny day when I know there were so many other things that people might have wanted to choose from. But we did a wonderful job, and just shows you the dedication our cast and crew have and the expertise that they have, because they looked great, they sounded great, and everyone came out to enjoy the show. So thank you all. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mr. Dolan. Our Board of Education delegate reports will begin now.
For the Somerset County School Board Association, there will be a meeting on Thursday, May 18th. It's a hybrid meeting, so you have the option to go to both tech if you want to be in person or register for the hybrid portion. So it starts at 6 p.m. So I will be there, so hopefully my colleagues can join.
I'll be attending a delegate session this weekend. I'll be speaking to our field representative, Glenn Thornton, to prepare me, as it'll be my first time. And I'm looking forward to the opportunity, and we'll report out at our next scheduled board meeting, May 23rd. Are there any other delegate reports at this time?
Yeah, MTSD.
Thank you.
They had a general meeting, largely a general assessment of where they are at this time. Membership was discussed, and the numbers are good. There's a need for members to offer their help in leadership roles. Essays are in and are being reviewed for a piece of the annual $2,500 scholarship grant money. So it's being reviewed now. And also there's money left over for special ed teacher grants. The next general MTSD membership meeting is scheduled tomorrow. Good.
Any other delegate reports? Hearing none, we will move to our board committee reports, starting with, I believe it's the only committee that has met so far in the month of May, our Policy and Communications Committee Chair, Board Member Dellin.
Okay, good evening. We met on May 4th, Thursday morning at 8 a.m. With the virtual platform. We talked about policies 5305, 5308, and 5310, having to do with health services personnel, student health records, and health services. And these policies were all listed and reviewed at our meeting, and they are mandated, and so they will be placed on tonight's agenda for the first reading, and with a second reading to follow on our May 23rd board meeting. We also discussed the transgender policy, which was brought up by one of our committee members. The current district policy contains all mandated language, but we did talk specifically about one particular section of the language to cover all students and to make sure that, in particular, the covering of restrooms and the locker room accessibility. And so we discussed bringing in the Director of Equity to review the policy and to share her thoughts. And we will revise the language with suggestions from the Director of Equity. Food services we also spoke about. The steps followed by Mascios and the district to keep food accounts current needs to continuously be addressed. We have identified 3 specific issues currently. One is that Mascios should be contacting parents when the food accounts fall below a certain set amount, not wait until the spring or not wait until the amount is at negative. The second issue is the software default settings need to be set to benefit the district. Per our superintendent, the default amount is currently too high. And thirdly, parents need to adjust their account setting to an individual preference that notifies when the account is low. So the board chair is going to take this on, and will meet with the food services to have an ad hoc committee meeting with Mascios and discuss these issues. And the meeting will include committee member Mr. Carlson, who has quite a bit of knowledge on the technology end, so he has offered to help us on that account. And lastly, we talked about the communication specialist position, and as of May 4th, the applications are being reviewed, and the deadline is May 31st. At this point, we have approximately 8 to 10 applications, and so that process will continue, and hopefully we will have someone in place very soon. Thank you. Did I miss anything? Thank you.
I have one
Before they have any questions or comments?
after you speak again on the transgender bathroom and locker room use policy, and if you're bringing that up with Ms. Young, I just ask also that we get to maybe discuss that as an equity board committee as well.
Do we know that board members feel?
And there was an equity meeting, so. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so.
I thought that was later in the month, but before you begin.
Yeah, just one comment. So Michelle, just in case you're not aware and parents aren't aware, so the notification for the low balance on the paidfor.net account, you have to make that adjustment online. You cannot do it through the app. So you have to go, you have to go onto the website to make that notification adjustment, just in case people didn't know.
Any other questions or comments for Board Member Dowling regarding PCC? So I apologize, Board Member Spina, absolutely. Present your equity committee report.
We also met on May 4th in the afternoon virtually, and we were discussing discipline data on code of conduct, and we were looking for trends in such data. Ms. Young reported some of our numbers as the trends that we did find is that it's unfortunate that 70 to 80% of our male students are often the ones with code of conduct infractions. In the lower grades, the majority of it is on the buses, which I'm sure that we can all kind of understand how that happens. And we've been talking, they were talking with how, in order to provide more positive reinforcement for bus behavior, that OHES has become a leader in tickets for good behavior on the buses. So hopefully we'll get to see some trends of bus behavior improving over time with that. Similarly in VES, again, your largest infraction is our male students, and unfortunately it's more of bus incidents, teasing, name calling, that sort of thing. As we go through the middle school, you see some other things that pop out about electronic devices and misuse of electronic devices, phones and so on, texting and using social media. Again, very age appropriate. And then in high school, the number of incidents goes way up, but that's because one of the code of conduct infractions is cutting class. And so if you're tardy or you cut class, then you receive an infraction for your code of conduct. So there was no glaring things that were indicative of any issues overall with the behavior and the respectfulness of our children. But it is nice to see and to kind of keep our pulse on that. But it's one thing that I will say is someone who wasn't surprised by the ratio being more boys toward girls on this front. I think that there's always room for improvement, and there's wonderful books and professional development out there on how we can better support our male students in school, because it is well known that it's really hard just developmentally sometimes for boys to function as well in that very, very rigid structure.
And what the students got their wins that these parents have done extensive research into the gender differences in learning and the environment. Right. Yeah, I think that it was really a good thing for us to look at. Not that we're having major issues, but it's important to always try to strive. Our next equity meeting is scheduled for June 8th, and instead of using that meeting for what we had previously wanted to discuss on the agenda, we felt that it would be very important, and as a committee decided to pivot to have a deeper discussion of our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging in our school calendar. So we will have that deep discussion next month, and hopefully our students and our parents and community members that came out last board meeting to really speak positively on their own path for Eden, and that has been tremendous. It was very moving, and we really do want to continue to hear from you. May 23rd. Yeah, May 23rd. At this time, the registration acknowledges the correspondence.
Public comment now?
And now we arrive at our new business from the board public comment and go to the instructions. The Board of Education will also then encourage from the public. Members of the public are allotted one opportunity to bring in new business to the board for maximum 3 minutes per speaker. All comments must be directed to the board. Before you make your comment, please name your address and type it in the book that's provided at the meeting. Being mindful of privacy rights regarding the board members and civil liability on the part of the speaker, the board encourages the mandatory and discouraging remarks. The public comment portion of the meeting is not structured as Q&A. It is, however, an opportunity provide an opportunity to refer me to the superintendent. Responses may be provided by new business, public comment.
Heard yes.
Yes.
Sorry about the last false start there. I'll summarize. My goal here is to express to you how much I care about all of you here, how much I want the best for the community, but I care mostly about the kids, and that's why I'm here. So the line in this section that we continue to bear here in our school district is coming to the point where it has to be talked about once again. And I'm not here to define anybody. You all define who you are, about who you keep company with, what you say, what you do, what you don't do. I'm going to talk this evening about a hypothetical school board president. This president does not put their hand on their heart when you say Pledge of Allegiance. This president concealed an approximately 10-year-long relationship with Mr. Saul Rubenstein's Rutgers Collaborative School Leadership Initiative. This hypothetical school board president was unable to discern Mr. Rubenstein's January 3rd slide deck on this initiative was sophomoric and merely a complete prevarication. This individual is unable to recognize that Mr. Rubenstein's proposed management model, commingling teaching staff with management authority, is a recipe for tyranny. This individual remains silent when Mr. Rubenstein failed to follow through on his commitment to provide backup papers to support an executive version of his slide deck. This hypothetical school board president was in responsible charge when federal Every Student Succeeds Act of the ratings in 2021 and 22 ranks 4 out of our 5 schools. They average between the 57th and 60th percentile. That equates to a D plus or a C minus on the curve, while the neighboring school rankings ranged 20 points higher, approximately 20 points higher. And they failed to provide complete data on one of the schools, and it was never rated. And this hypothetical school board president asserts that in prosecuting their responsibilities that we do our best. Well, I say, do your best is a Cub Scout model. We're adults now. It requires doing the job. The school board president has the most important job in the world. It's leading the education of our children, because our children are the future of our nation. So here's my question, everybody, given the above. Do you think that this hypothetical school board president is a competent school board leader? Yes or no? If yes, explain why. If no, then I suggest that Madam President resign no later than the end of this week. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Santi Buscemi. I live in Stillman, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening. The first thing I would like to do is to voice my support for one of your finest members of your school board. Her name is Joanna Thielen. I have not known Ms. Thielen for very long, but we have spoken several times. I appreciate her professionalism, her courtesy, her passion, and her concern for the students and the community of Montgomery. I know that there were some negative things said at the last meeting. Please understand that my family and many of my friends certainly do not agree with that position. I hope you will continue to ask questions. I hope you will continue to fight for the students, for the faculty, for all of us in Montgomery Township. Thank you so much. The second thing I would like to address is as I walked out last meeting, I saw on the board a chart of, I guess it was a gender chart, and it listed many different types of genders. I always thought there were only three, masculine, feminine, and neuter. That's just me. This is a school of where 14-year-old students, 15-year-old students, 16-year-old students come. I think that matters like this really belong to be discussed at home by the parents and not by the teachers. And I fear, and I'm not saying, I don't accuse anyone, but I fear that discussing these things in the school setting will lead these students to make decisions that they are not morally equipped to make or intellectually equipped to make at this point. I suggest that we stick to the academics, the mathematics, the writing and reading, the history, the sciences, etc. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Jean Scar. I am a resident of Montgomery, but my kids did not go here. I came up to talk about something that one of my recent students talked about at the upper middle school in terms of some bullying and racism that's going on in the hallways, mostly between boys, like you said, and also fist fights that are happening in the bathrooms because there's no camera, and that these are actually even being put on Instagram. There's pages you can go onto on Instagram to see fights at school. So I felt like it's important for you guys to be aware of that. I also want to say that I wasn't planning to come up and talk about any board members, but I just want to say that I think Zelda Gonzalez is a fantastic board member, as are several others on this board. And to the gentleman's point that came up here, I've worked in schools for 33 years and just retired last year. And I have to tell you, you think that you can't talk about transgender and LGBTQIA issues in the school because it's just academics, but it's not just academics, because there are children, even as young as kindergarten, that show signs of being misgendered. And so the idea isn't to teach the other kids in like an elementary school, hey, you should be, this is what you should do, or indoctrinating them. It's the idea that all of our students, no matter what their background is, no matter what their gender identity is, or their sexual preferences, or whatever, they need to be treated with respect and kindness. And what happens is if you don't talk about this, then the other kids are mystified. When we don't understand something, we fear it. And there's a lot of fear lately in this board in the past year or so. And it doesn't need to be feared. It's not anybody trying to indoctrinate. It's really a matter of let's treat the kids with kindness. And if you don't have a representation of all the different kinds of people, then you run the risk of really damaging the self-esteem and leading to suicide and severe mental health issues. And if you think that mental health issues don't exist now, then you're wrong, because I've seen that increase over the years too. Gen Z in particular are the age that everything changed for them. So just keep your eye on that and don't be so narrow-minded on your little points. Nobody's trying to indoctrinate your children. We're just trying to protect
to come up and just express my appreciation for your service. Serving on a board, working for a municipal school district is a very tough job, and we're so proud of the amazing school district that we have. As a mother of an elementary student, I couldn't trust any group of people better to provide a safe, healthy, sound space to grow, to learn for my children, or for my child. I especially want to thank the leadership of the board president, Zelda Spence-Wallace. I think your calm demeanor under pressure, under unfortunate harassment from certain members of the public, I just appreciate it, and I want to thank you and thank everyone on the board and everyone who works for our district. So I just want to express that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dan Pace. I'm a Montgomery resident for 25 years, and I'm also a para-professional, a union exec at large for paras in the district. With the help of God, at the end of June, my youngest daughter will be graduating from Montgomery, so that'll be 3 kids that went through the Montgomery Township school system. And I have to say that I just want to take this opportunity to thank all the educators. I can't express to you how influential they've been from the time that we started in kindergarten or preschool, all the way up until now. As my daughter is a senior, she's still being influenced by the great teachers there in the high school. Even my son was tremendously influenced by that guy over there, Jeff Brooks. He's a film and television major. And as a matter of fact, the young lady who just became the principal at LMS was my son's kindergarten teacher. So we go way back with the Montgomery Township educators. And the fact of the matter is, my kids are extremely resilient because of Montgomery Township education that they had. My kids are extremely courageous because of the Montgomery Township education that they had. And my kids are also very open to all people of all walks of life. When they went to college, they viewed schools, the first thing they looked for was diversity. Coming from Montgomery, we want diversity, not just cultural, but for people from all walks of life. So I really want to take this opportunity, now that I had this captured audience, to say thank you very much, and I hope you have a very peaceful rest of your night. Thank you.
Ms. Newman, Spielman. I didn't know it was Public Service Appreciation Week, but I also want to thank you very much, and especially you, Dr. Spence-Wallace, for your, again, calm demeanor, your patience, your incredible grace under pressure. I certainly know I could not do the same, as I think I've shown a few times. Tonight I want to address Board Member Filak, who a couple meetings ago requested that we do a deep dive and replace some of the books with different books that have a positive message, because some of the books really trigger negative feelings. So I have a series of questions that I would like answered, and don't worry, I'll send you an email and you can reply that way, because I have a lot of questions and I don't think I could get them all answered tonight. Number one, what book specifically do you want to replace? Number two, why? What criteria are you using to make this decision? 3, you mentioned books triggering negative feelings. How did you determine this? How many students have reported negative feelings to you or to their teachers? 4, what books will you replace them with? Please be specific. 5, why are you doing this? What criteria are you using to pick the books you pick that trigger negative feelings? 6, who will decide what books to remove and replace? You mentioned a few committees where this deep dive might take place. What are the qualifications of the people on these committees which would permit them to determine what books other people's children are allowed to read? 7, is this standard practice for Board of Ed to remove or replace books? Is this part of the Board of Ed's mandate? Is it legal? 8, will parents who disagree with book banning be allowed to comment on this process? Will we be able to hear their voices? 9, will you next recommend removing or replacing the school library books? 10, public library books? Where's it going to end? As I said, I presented you with a lot of questions, but in your campaign, you did say, and I quote, "I would strive to improve communication by posting timely updates on issues relevant to the Montgomery school community, ensuring all BOE correspondence is posted, and ensuring there is transparent and comprehensive follow-up on the points the community brings up to the BOE, which is currently lacking." And finally, I have a question about some costs that the board might be incurring. I know it's very upsetting that $3,000 was spent on an international trip. I've noticed in the correspondence there's always many Oprah requests and letters to the board, and I am just wondering if there is a way we could get an accounting of what replying to those Oprah requests and to all the letters that appear to be redundant and borderline harassment costs the board. Thank you.
Are there any other public comment at this time?
Matt Rosenthal, Bellmead. It was stated last month by Jeff Grant that white farmers have been tortured and killed in South Africa. This statement was made with no context and must have come from the headline from an October 6, 2020 article, quote, "Farmers tortured and killed in horrific South Africa raids." What does this have to do with Montgomery High School or a global education conference being held there? Nothing. It's just sensationalism at its best. Per Jeff Grant, the entire country of South Africa, or at least all the black people living there, are white racist. And by this transitive property of equality, because Board of Ed President Spence Wallace dared to step on South African soil, became the constant refrain by Jeff that you are the company you keep. I noticed that Mr. Grant only calls out the black woman, our board president. Why hasn't he called out Mr. Corey Delgado of UMS, who also attended this conference as a white racist? Probably because it would be too difficult to defend, and it won't advance his narrative to attack Ms. Spence-Wallace on a monthly basis. Last month, Jeff Grant also brought up that South Africa is part of BRICS, with no explanation of what that acronym actually means, other than the R is Russia and C is China. He must also know that B is Brazil and I is India, yet I didn't hear him state that Brazil and India are enemies of the United States. But again, by the transitive property that Jeff likes to use, if Russia and China are in BRICS and are enemies of the United States, then so is Brazil, India, and South Africa. It just isn't true, and he doesn't bring it up because it doesn't fit his narrative, or he's ignorant. Want to know what BRICS actually is? BRICS is a group of emerging market countries that work together for economic reasons similar to the G7. Don't know what the G7 is? Go look it up. If Jeff actually dug in a little more, he would have shared that South Africa's ties to Russia is very small. Russia accounts for as little as 0.3% of South Africa's trade. To put this into perspective, South Africa does less trade with Russia than it does with one of its most underdeveloped neighboring countries. Like many things Jeff says, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, so he can provide shock statements in this forum, when in fact, he should probably be repeating AP World History. In many others' 3-minute time here up at the board, he ends his speech with, "Madam President, please come back to us." I have no idea who the us he thinks he's representing, but it's not me. It's not most of the people in this room, and it doesn't represent most of the people in this town. Madam President, you stay right the hell where you are. You continue to be a good person trying to do great things for the children of Montgomery Township.
Any other new business in the board, public comment at this time?
Karen Anderson, Montgomery Township. On your website, Board of Ed website, effective May 11th, it says the COVID national emergency officially ends, and the last live stream Board of Ed meeting will be tonight, May 9th. And we will continue to record and post the Board of Ed meetings on the website via the YouTube channel. But my question is, so the last time is tonight. My question is, I'm curious as to why the school board so quickly turns on a dime to pull down the live stream. You can take it down, but it's not required. And who is it serving to pull the live stream down? What is the cost? Some campaign for their current board positions on fortifying and improving the relationship with the community through improved communications, and I'm curious as to how the decision to pull it down supports that. Possibly a community vote on whether live stream should continue or not post-COVID would be a pro-community, thoughtful method of evaluation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dean Max Pomerantz, and I live in Skillman. I'm here in support of Board of Ed member Joanna Filak. I've known her for quite some time. Joanna won the election fairly and is a tremendous asset to the Board of Ed. She asks intelligent questions, offers great suggestions, and sparks conversations of value at the public meetings. To my knowledge, there are people who want Joanna to resign from her position simply because they don't agree with her views. Part of what makes these public meetings so special is having a space for different points of view. I believe we all want our children to be tolerant of each other's differences, and so we need to live by example. Additionally, I have a 5-year-old who will be starting at Orchard Hill in the fall. I recently received the OHES kindergarten orientation email in which the school district refers to parents and families as caretakers. The online definition of caretaker is, quote, a person employed to look after people. This is offensive to the countless parents and families that work so tirelessly to take care of their children. Being a parent is the toughest job out there. And for the record, it is an unpaid position that includes lots of bedtime stories and no sick days. The term caretaker is not used correctly, and it is demeaning to the parents and families like myself. I look forward to becoming a familiar face to all of you, not only as a mother, but as a member of this community. I hope our differences bring us together and we begin to work together to do better for our children. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Francine Pfeffer, 5 Mystic Drive, Stillman. So first of all, in response to the woman who just spoke, I kind of appreciate you not saying parents and families because not everybody is a parent. You sometimes have guardians who are not actually parents, and they can feel actually hurt when everything says dear parents because not everybody is a parent. Some are grandparents, there are foster homes, there are adults who are taking care of children who are not their natural parents. Maybe caretaker is not the best word, but we should not always use the term parents because there are plenty of people in town who take care of children who are not actually parents. But we already heard that this week is Public Service Week. It's also Teacher Appreciation Week, so I would like to thank the teachers in the room who are here. Thank you very much. But one of the ways we can best appreciate teachers is to just let them do their jobs. Educators have a problem because most people, because they went to school, think that they know what they're doing from what they remember happening when they were students themselves. But having taught myself, I know that there is a lot more that goes into that 45 minutes or that hour in front of the classroom than what you see as a student. And teachers are experts at what they do. Someone else already referenced your comments, and Ms. Filak, about changing books from positive, having more positive messages, so I won't repeat them. I do applaud your desire to help our students learn positive behaviors, but we don't need to change the books to do that. Teachers do that every day with the materials in our curriculum. And after hearing these comments about the materials, I went to Atlas Rubicon and I checked and I looked at the titles of many of our books. And what did I see? I saw Prince winners. For those of you who don't know the Prince Prize, it's from the American Library Association for Young Adult Literature. It's a relatively new prize. I saw National Book Award winners, Pulitzer Prize winning authors, along with classics like the Odyssey and the Iliad, Pride and Prejudice, and many Shakespearean plays. Educators know how to use the materials with students. They know how to teach the themes in them and have students come away from those books with positive emotions. Just trust them to do their jobs because they're doing them every day. I have watched a lot of legal thrillers. I have read so many legal books, but trust me, if you needed a lawyer in court, you wouldn't want me to represent you because I'm not a lawyer. In the same way, as a teacher and a librarian, I want to remind those of you without education and librarian backgrounds on this board that you don't really understand what goes into selecting reading materials. Please stick to what you know how to do best, not what I, the educators in this district, learned to do with a lot of training and a lot of degrees. As a parent, I trust the educators in this district to teach and help my child, and I ask respectfully that board members trust the educators in this district to do the same. Thank you.
That concludes our new business to the board public comment. So at this time, I move that we approve our action agenda items. 1.1.
Madam President, can I answer the one question that was asked? It was about the live streaming. Yes, there was only one question. Thank you all for your comments. They were all comments. And there was one question about the live stream. So we've done our research. We started live streaming because of COVID. And when we came back in person, we were thinking about pulling it at that time, but we decided let's keep an eye on it. So the cost is double per hour. We're paying twice as much per hour to live stream than previously when we just record it and have it uploaded tomorrow on the website. And we average around 30 people who watch it, and most of those people come from an MTSD account, which means that they are staff members. So there's no need to keep double the cost, especially now that the COVID national emergency is ending on May 11th.
Thank you, Superintendent McLaughlin, for answering that question, and thank you to the public for your questions and your comments presented before the board. Once again, I move that we approve the action agenda items 1.1 to 4.3.
I'd like to separate 1.1 out.
How we go on 1.1?
So the rest, separate 1.1 from the rest of the agenda items?
You can vote no or abstain if we can have discussion on that topic.
No, I just wanted to separate the,
For what reason?
so that I can vote individually on the item on it.
Okay. So I'm going to amend the movement for the motion to approve all of the action agenda items, and we are going to separate 1.1. I think I need,
Second.
I need a second on that.
Second.
Okay. So Board Secretary, roll call please on 1.1.
Correct. Mr. Carlson?
So I'll abstain on 246-351 _ LMS _ 033120023. Vote yes on 246-579 UMS 04052023. And then no other.
Ms. Dowling?
I'm sorry, is this just for 1.1?
Just for 1.1, yeah, cases.
The whole packet.
All of 1.1.
Unless you want to,
I'll abstain.
on the whole packet.
I thought we were just doing one, I'm sorry.
1.1 is
Just
the,
the- Oh, it's the whole.
is the whole packet.
All of 1.1. There's an A, B, and C to 1.1.
Okay. Yes.
You vote yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Board Member.
Ms. Franco-Harmon?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Spina?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
Ms. Maleka-Jernigan?
I'm going to abstain. I missed some of the meetings, so I just,
Yeah.
Did I call Ms. Spina?
No.
Ms. Spina?
I have lost them.
Dr. Spence-Wallace?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
And yes, Ms. Dr. Spence-Wallace?
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. So now I move that we approve action agenda items 1.2 to 4.3.
So moved.
Second.
Board Secretary, roll call please.
Mr. Carlson?
Yes.
Ms. Dowling?
Yes.
Ms. Spilak?
Yes.
Ms. Franco-Harmon?
Yes.
Ms. Harris?
Yes.
Ms. Spina?
Yes.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
Ms. Maleka-Jernigan?
yes.
Dr. Spence-Wallace?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Great. So we've reached the conclusion of our Tuesday, May 9th, 2023 Montgomery Township School District Board of Education open public meeting. We appreciate all of those that have participated. We are thankful for your comments and your questions. Thank you and a shout out to the community members that informed us that this is Public Service Appreciation Week. So I extend that to all of the volunteers on this day as this evening. Thank you for your support and your commitment and dedication to our responsibility, as well as,
Just one comment before you vote, if you don't mind.
I'll allow that when I'm done. Yeah, no problem. Thanks, Board Member Maleka-Jernigan. And the board also emphatically extends appreciation to recognize all of our outstanding, really talented, creative, generous, gracious, smart teachers in all of our 5 buildings. Thank you for your hard work today. And personally, for helping me raise my children that have gone through the school district and are doing quite well for themselves. I know as a parent, I can't be everything to all my children, so I really appreciate and value all the work that you've conducted with my own children. So Board Member Maleka-Jernigan, you want to make an announcement?
Yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to give special shout out to Ms. Chamris, who's my kid's math teacher, all of them. Thank you so much for all you do. I saw Mr. Regner in the back. I think he left too soon, so he doesn't get the kudos personally. But thank you so much for everything. And just one thing I just wanted to read, because I think there's a little bit of a misconception of what the board is here to do. And I just wanted to read you a definition of the responsibilities of board members. Generally, school board oversees a district's affairs, students' education, personnel and properties. The board has specific responsibility to approve curriculum, employ a superintendent, and submit a proposal for budget to the district voters for their approval, which I think as new board member and other board members, all we've been trying to do is do our job and learn as much as we can and do what's right for the community. So I just wanted to make that statement. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, board member. We'll look at her again for that. Everyone in the community, right, that the Board of Education members do not run the schools. Our role is governance. So should there be no objections, I move that we adjourn tonight's open public meeting session.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Or abstentions? Good night, everyone, and thank you so much for coming out.